Welcome to Chinese History and Mythology.
Hello friends, welcome back. Welcome back to Chinese History and Mythology. Let us continue from where we left off. The Jin army had surrounded Biyang for 24 days. The city was small, but it was tough. They simply could not break it. Then heavy rain poured down. The water rose to 3 feet deep. Sun Yan and Shigai saw that morale was about to collapse. They hurried to the central command and quietly advised Zhi Mao. "We thought a small city would fall quickly, but it has dragged on. Now the rivers are all connected to the Ci River. If the rain keeps falling and the water rises, it will be even harder. Why not withdraw first and wait for a better chance?" Zhi Mao exploded. He smashed the table and cursed at them. "I told you from the start this city was small but hard to take. You were the ones who promised the Duke of Jin it could be broken. That is why I came. We have fought this long with no result, and now a little rain makes you want to retreat. You may have come by your own will, but you will not leave by it. 7 days. If the city is not taken in 7 days, you will be executed under military law. Get out." Sun Yan and Shigai turned pale. They returned to their troops and spoke plainly. "The commander has given us a death limit. If the city is not taken in 7 days, we die first. Now we set a limit for you. If it is not taken in 6 days, you will be executed, and then we will kill ourselves." The whole camp fell silent. They added, "No empty words in the army. We lead the assault ourselves. Day and night, no retreat." They pulled in the armies of Lu, Cao, and Zhou to fight with full force. When the rain eased, Sun Yan and Shigai charged first in their chariots. Arrows rained down from the walls. They did not dodge. From the day Gangyin to the day Jiaowu, they fought without pause. The defenders ran out of arrows. Sun Yan climbed the wall first. Shigai followed. The allied troops surged up. The defending general Yunban died in battle.
Only then did Zhi Mao enter the city. The Lord of Biyang surrendered before his chariot. Zhi Mao placed the Lord and his clan under protection in the army. From renewed assault to victory, it took only 5 days. Everyone understood that without that furious outburst forcing them forward, the city might never have fallen. At the same time, Duke Dao of Jin feared delay. He had already prepared 2,000 elite troops to reinforce the front. When he reached Chuchu and heard the city had fallen, he sent word to Song and granted Biyang to Shangzu of Song. Shangzu refused, but Duke Dao decided, return it to the ruler of Song. The rulers of Song and Wei hosted banquets for the Duke of Jin. Zhi Mao reported the deeds of 3 fierce generals from Lu. Duke Dao rewarded them accordingly, then returned to Jin. He reduced the former lord of Biyang to commoner status, chose a worthy member of the clan to manage the family, and resettled them in Huo. That autumn, Shang Hui died. Duke Dao appointed Wei Zhang to enforce the law and promoted him. Shang Lao became marshal. In winter, the second Jin army attacked Zheng again and strengthened Hulao. At that moment, chaos broke out in Zheng. Wei Ji rebelled and killed Prince Fai, Prince Fa, and Prince Jie. Their sons gathered private troops and crushed the rebellion, killing Wei Ji's faction. They raised Prince Jia as chief minister. Luan Yan saw an opportunity and said, "Zheng is in chaos. Let us attack and take it in one move." Zhi Mao refused. To attack someone in turmoil is not righteous. He ordered a halt. Prince Jia quickly sent envoys to seek peace. Zhi Mao agreed. When the Chu general Gong Zizhen arrived to rescue Zheng, the Jin army had already withdrawn. Zheng then turned back to Chu. This was counted as one of Duke Dao's 3 campaigns that forced Chu back. The next summer, seeing Zheng still unsettled, Duke Dao launched another campaign. The allied forces surrounded Zheng from all sides. Zheng was terrified and sought peace again. Blood oaths were sworn. This was the second campaign. King Gong of Chu was furious and sent Gong Zizhen to Qin for aid. Qin sent 300 chariots. King Gong personally led a great army, declaring, "If Zheng is not destroyed, I will not return." Zheng's court debated. One minister proposed a bold plan. "To make Jin protect us fully, let us attack Song. Song is closest to Jin. If we attack in the morning, Jin will respond by night. Jin moves fast, Chu moves slow. We can play them against each other." When news came that Chu sought Qin's aid, he rejoiced. Heaven favors serving Jin. He explained that by meeting Chu first and proposing an attack on Song, they could avoid Chu's wrath and force Jin to act quickly. He went alone to meet King Gong of Chu. The king shouted, "You betray alliances. I come to punish you. Why are you here?" The envoy answered smoothly that Zhang never truly abandoned Chu, but only sought temporary peace with Jin to survive. Now Zhang would guide Chu in attacking Song. King Gong was pleased and even dismissed Jin's aid. He joined Zhang and raided Song before withdrawing. Song urgently appealed to Jin. Duke Dao was enraged and launched a major campaign. Jin and its allies fought at Zhang's eastern gate and captured much. This was the third campaign. Afterward, Zhang sought peace again. Duke Dao questioned their sincerity. The envoy declared, "My lord entrusts the state to you." Duke Dao agreed to exchange oaths. He ordered all captured Zhang people released and forbade any allied army from invading Zhang. He even said to the ruler of Zhang, "In the future, whether you serve Jin or Chu, it is your choice. I will not force you." The ruler of Zhang wept with gratitude and sent rich gifts. Duke Dao rewarded his ministers and sent all allied armies home. Zhang thereafter devoted itself to Jin. The scene then shifts to Wei. Duke Xian of Wei was reckless and indulgent. Son Linfu and Ningzi plotted with Prince Piao to act. Duke Xian invited the two ministers to dine, then left them waiting outside while he went to the garden to shoot arrows at wild geese. It was public humiliation. Son Linfu returned to Qi and prepared troops. Duke Xian sensed danger and tried to intimidate him. He even ordered musicians to sing verses implying Son Linfu harbored rebellion by the river.
Sun Linfu no longer waited. He struck first. Duke Xian fled in panic. Hundreds of his armored guards were scattered and killed. Only a dozen remained. He survived because Gong Sun Ding, a master archer, covered the retreat. The pursuers caught up. One of them, Yang Gongcha, recognized Gong Sun Ding as his teacher. He stepped down from his chariot and bowed, saying, "We serve different lords." He then removed his arrowheads and shot 4 arrows into the crossbars of the fleeing chariot. He could have struck the men inside, but chose not to. He called out, "Teacher, take care," and withdrew. But Yin Gong Tuo, who followed behind, could not let it go. In his heart he thought, "The command of my lord outweighs the bond of a teacher," and he turned his chariot to continue the pursuit of Duke Xian.
Fan Gai pacing the palace at Gugugong, unable to settle. What he feared most was that Fan Yang might go to invite Wei Shu and fail to bring him. Suddenly, Fan Gai looked up from the tower and saw a cluster of chariots racing in from the northwest. Fan Yang and Wei Shu were riding in the same chariot. Fan Gai slapped the railing in delight.
Now the Luan clan is truly alone. He immediately opened the gates and let them enter. Wei Shu came in, and his face still looked uneasy. Fan Gai grabbed his hand at once and spoke first, as if to seal the matter. "People outside say you secretly side with the Luan clan. I know you are not that kind of man. As long as we work together to destroy the Luan clan, I will grant you Quill as your reward." At this point, Wei Shu had already been pulled into the Fen family's net. He could only nod. The two hurried to see Duke Ping of Jin and planned to hold Gu Guang to the death. Before long, the great officers arrived one after another with chariots and troops. More and more men gathered inside Gu Guang. The palace had only 2 gates, front and back, and each gate had 2 layers of barriers. Fan Gai assigned defenses down to the smallest detail. Shao and Xun guarded the south gate. The brothers of Han Nuwu guarded the north gate. Qi Wu led patrols through the whole palace. Fan Gai and his son stayed at Duke Ping's side without leaving even a step after Lu Wanying broke into Jiang. He kept waiting for Wei Shu to come and respond from within. He waited until nightfall and still saw nothing. A chill rose in his heart. He stationed his troops at the market and sent scouts to find out what was happening. The scout returned with one sentence that set him on fire. "The ruler of Jin has entered Guguang. All the officials are there. Wei Shu is there too." Lu Wangying exploded. "Wei Shu tricked me. When I see him, I will kill him with my own hands." He slapped Du Rong on the back. "Strike Guguang with full force. Wealth and rank I will share with you." Du Rong asked to fight at once. "I will take half the troops and attack the south gate alone. You lead the others to attack the north gate. Let us see who breaks through first." But the Qi generals Ji Chuang and Guo Zui had long been unhappy with Lu Anying. When they were in Qi, Zhou Chuang and Xin Kuai had outshone them. Lu Anying praised Du Rong every day and did not treat them as important. So the two simply folded their arms and watched, thinking only of waiting to see who won. In truth, the only man Lu Anying could count on was almost only Du Rong. Outside the south gate, Du Rong rode back and forth with twin halberds,
like a dark war spirit come down to earth. The defenders on the gate felt fear. Even Zhao Wu could not help praising him. This man is truly brave. The brothers Xi Yong and Ji Su under Zhao Wu refused to accept that. They insisted on going out to seize him. Zhao Wu only warned them, "Be careful, do not underestimate him." The two Xi brothers rode out and shouted across the river, trying to persuade Du Rong to turn back. Du Rong roared, "Fill the river." The soldiers were still carrying earth, but Du Rong was impatient. He planted both halberds into the ground and leapt across the river in a single jump. The two brothers froze for an instant, then rushed to meet him. Du Rong smashed with one halberd and broke the spine of Zi Yong's chariot horse. The chariot collapsed at once. With the other halberd, he struck so hard that Zi Su's horse screamed and would not move. Seeing Du Rong alone, the two jumped down and fought on foot. Du Rong's twin halberds whirled like wind. With a hard clash, he snapped Zi Su's spear. Zi Su turned and ran. Zi Yong was a step slower and was stabbed down by Du Rong. Zi Su fled back to the north gate and only got up by ropes thrown down from the wall. Zi Yong was also dragged back inside. Du Rong stood outside the gate with halberds raised and shouted, "If you have courage, send a few more out. I will kill you together." The gate fell silent. No one dared answer. That night, Xi Yong died from his wounds. Zhao Wu grieved. Xi Su clenched his teeth and vowed revenge the next day. Xun Wu suggested, "Call Mu Deng's two sons, Mu Gang and Mu Jing, add Xi Su. 3 against 1, we will not lose." Zhao Wu agreed. The next day, the three charged out as soon as they left the gate. Du Rong fought with growing frenzy. He jumped down from his chariot and swung his twin halberds wildly. He smashed Mu Jing's axle first, then struck Mu Jing with one halberd until flesh and blood were ruined. Mu Gang fought desperately but could not break in. Mu Deng on the wall struck the gong in haste to call them back. They personally went out to bring them in. Du Rong seized the moment and ordered his soldiers to rush the gate. Arrows and stones fell like rain from the walls. Many soldiers were wounded, yet Du Rong himself was not harmed at all. Zhao Wu and Sun Wu lost 2 fights in a row and had no choice but to send word to Fan Gai for help. Fan Gai heard it and felt only irritation. If we cannot even hold down one Du Rong, how can we speak of crushing the Luan clan? He sat through the night with a lamp, brooding. At that moment, a state slave named Fei Bao stepped forward and kowtowed. "Commander, your worry is for Du Rong." Only then did Fan Gai remember that Fei Bao was the son of Fei Cheng, and that after the Tuanjia clan was destroyed, he had been dragged down into slavery. Fan Gai asked, "Do you have a way?" Fei Bao named his price without softness. "My name is written in the red register. For all generations I cannot rise. If you can remove my name from the red register, I will go kill Du Rong." Fan Gai promised at once. "If you kill Du Rong, I will ask the ruler to burn the register, and I will appoint you as a tooth officer of the Central Army." Fei Bao also swore, "If the commander breaks faith, then when the sun sets, I fall as well." He added that Du Rong loved to show off courage and loved single combat. With a large force, it would be hard to finish him. He would go alone beneath the gate. Fan Gai half believed, half doubted. Fei Bao even pledged his own mother and young son as guarantee. Only then did Fan Gai nod. He rewarded him with food and wine and gave him a suit of rhinoceros armor. The next day, Fei Bao wore the armor under his clothes, covered it with a white silk robe, hid a sharp blade at his waist, and carried a bronze hammer that weighed 52 jin. Before he left, he threw down one sentence. "If I kill Du Rong, I return. If I cannot, I die by his hand. There will not be 2 outcomes." Fan Gai personally mounted his chariot and went with him to the south gate. Du Rong was shouting challenge beneath the gate. Fei Bao stood on the wall and called, "General Du, do you still recognize me, Fei Bao?" Du Rong laughed. "Fei Bao, you still dare to gamble life and death?" Fei Bao spoke openly. "Withdraw your chariots. The 2 of us come down and fight on the ground, weapon against weapon, until one dies, so the name will pass to later ages." Du Rong took the bait at once and waved his hand to pull the troops back. The gate opened and released only Fa Bao. They fought for more than 20 rounds with no clear winner. Fei Bao suddenly said he needed to relieve himself and turned to run. Du Rong raged and chased. The man on the wall broke into cold sweat. Fei Bao ran to a low wall and leapt over it. Du Rong leapt after him. But the moment he landed, Fei Bao was already hidden beneath a tree. The bronze hammer crashed down from behind and struck the crown of his head. His skull burst as Du Rong died. He kicked Fei Bao in the chest and cracked the rhinoceros armor. Fei Bao did not dare delay. He drew his blade, cut off the head, and jumped back over the wall. When the defenders saw Fei Bao holding that bloody head, they opened the gate at once. Sisu and Mu Gan led troops out and struck. The Luan troops collapsed immediately. Some died, some surrendered, and only a few escaped. Fan Gai poured wine toward the sky. Truly the great fortune of the ruler of Jin. He personally filled the cup to reward Fei Bao and brought him to see Duke Ping. Duke Ping also rewarded Fei Bao with a war chariot and recorded him as first in merit. At the north gate, Luan Ying was still attacking hard. When he heard a report that Du Rong had won, he even bragged, "If I had 2 Du Rong, Gu Guang would have fallen already." Zhi stepped on Guo Zui's foot, and the two exchanged a look without speaking. On the third day, news arrived that Du Rong was dead. Luan Ying's legs went weak. Once Du Rong dies, the whole army is finished. Only then did he go to Zhi Chuo and Guo Zui to discuss. The two sneered. Even Du Rong has lost, let alone us. Luan Ying could only weep. Luan Li proposed the last gamble. Tonight decides life and death. Gather the whole army at the north gate. After the third watch, climb the salt carts, set fires, and maybe we can break in. Luan Ying agreed. That very night, Duke Ping held a banquet to celebrate Du Rong's death. Han Wu and Han Qi drank until the second watch before returning to the gate. The Luan troops seized the gap and attacked in force. Fire arrows flew. The gate burned, and the flames rose stronger and stronger. The defenders could not hold. Luan Li charged first, with Luan Fan close behind, and they seized the outer gate. Han Ruwu and the others had to retreat to the inner gate and sent urgent word for help. Fan Gai saw the situation and moved at once. He sent Wei Shu to guard the south gate and replaced Sun Wu's troops. He moved Sun Wu and Mu Gang to the north gate to rescue the Han brothers. Fan Gai and Duke Ping climbed the platform and looked north. They saw the Luan troops holding the outer gate, yet strangely quiet. Fan Gai said, "There must be a trick. Hold the inner gate to the death." At dusk, the Luan troops climbed the assault carts again and attacked with fire. The Jin troops used large ox-hide tents soaked in water as cover, and the fire could not bite in. Both sides struggled through the night and paused at last. Fan Gai feared delay would bring disaster. He decided on a pincer attack. Fan Yang would lead Fei Bao from the south gate around to the north gate and strike hard from outside. Sun Wu would lead Mu Gang to charge out from the inner gate and hit from both sides. Zhao Wu and Wei Shu would place troops outside to block any escape to the south. Before Fan Yang left the gate, he borrowed his father's central army banners and drums to build momentum. He spoke fiercely to his men. "Today we advance and do not retreat. If we lose, I will cut my own throat first. I will not let you die for nothing." The inner gate drums sounded. Wu Gang led the front, with Sun Wu behind, and they charged out. Luan Ying saw the danger and used iron-plated chariots to block the mouth of the outer gate and forced Sun Wu back. Outside, Fan Yang's troops arrived. Luan Ying saw the great banner of the central army and thought Fan Gai himself had come. He jolted in fear. A scout reported it was only Fan Yang. Luan Li did not treat him as serious. He fired arrows wildly, each one killing, and ordered ropes prepared. If he falls, bind him. Luan Li even turned his chariot and retreated on purpose, trying to lure Fan Yang closer and then shoot again. But Zhi and Guo Zui were jealous of Long Li's archery and feared he would win the greatest merit. In the chaos, they shouted, "The Luan clan has lost." That one shout threw the drivers into panic. Long Li's horse bolted. The wheel struck the root of a locust tree and the chariot overturned. Fei Bao rushed in, hooked Luan Li with a long halberd, chopped off his arm, and the first fierce general of the Luan clan died beside the tree root. Luan Rong dared not rescue him and fled. Once Luan Lei died, the Luan army's spirit collapsed. Ji Chuo and Guao Zui also knew they could not return to Qi and explain. One fled to Qing and the other fled to Wei. When Luan Ying heard the bad news, he wailed aloud, and the soldiers cried with him. Luan Fang protected Luan Ying as they fled south. Sun Wu and Fan Yang caught them and struck them hard, and only then did the Luan army fully break apart. Wounded, Luan Ying and Luan Fang reached the south gate and ran into Wei Shu, blocking the way. Luan Ying cried with tears, "Have you forgotten we served together in the lower army? I know I must die, but I should not die by your hand." Wei Shu softened. He ordered a path opened and let them return to Kuo. Zhao Wu arrived and asked, "Why did you not pursue?" Wei Shu answered only, "Fish in a pot and a turtle in a jar will meet the knife of the cook. I cannot bear to kill with my own hands." Fan Gai understood that Wei Shu was selling a favor, but he did not speak of it yet. He told Fan Yan that the men who fled with Luan Ying were all Kuo armored troops, and returning there would make it easy to wipe them out together. He ordered Fan Yan to surround Kuo. Sun Wu asked to go too, and Fan Gai approved. Fan Yan and Sun Wu surrounded Kuo with 300 chariots. Fan Gai escorted Duke Ping back to the palace. He kept his promise and burned the Red Register. Fei Bao was freed from slavery, and more than 20 families were freed as well. Fei Bao was formally taken in as a tooth officer. Just as Jin had barely pressed down the rebellion, Duke Zhuang of Qi tried to take advantage and invade Jin. He prepared troops and seized land, hoping to take Mengmen and Gongshan and gather at Taihang. But the vanguard, Xin Kuai, camped at Gongshan and was bitten to death by a venomous snake. Worse still, news suddenly spread that Luan Ying had been defeated and that Duke Ping's great army was coming. Duke Zhuang could only sigh, "My great aim will not be done," and he withdrew in haste. When Zhao Xing pursued, Duke Zhuang mistook it for the arrival of Jin's main army and fled in panic. Yan Mao fought the rear guard and died. Huo was surrounded for more than a month. Lu Wenying fought again and again and lost again and again. More than half the city was killed or wounded. At last, the city fell. Su Wu killed himself. Lu Wenying and Lu Wenrong were captured. Before dying, Lu Wenying said only one sentence: "I regret I did not listen to Xing Yu." Sun Wu wanted to escort him back to Jiang. Fan Yang feared Duke Ping might soften and release him, so he strangled Luan Ying at night and killed Luan Rong. The Luan clan was almost wiped out. Only Luan Fang escaped by rope and fled to Song. Jing announced the matter to the lords, and many states came to congratulate. Ban Gai soon retired, and Zhao Wu took control of government back in Qi. Duke Rong still refused to let go. He said he would avenge older wrongs with Zhu and station troops on the border. He granted the title Guest of 5 Chariots and summoned Hua Zhou and Qi Liang. Hua Zhou saw that his treatment was worse than that of the 5 chariots, and was so furious that he went on hunger strike. "This is not using me. This is humiliating me." Qi Liang did not dare to go because his own mother was at home. When he told her, she forced him instead. A ruler's command cannot be avoided. Duke Zhuang led 3,000 elite troops and attacked Zhu by surprise. Hua Zhou and Qi Liang each brought only 1 chariot, and they also took a minor soldier named Xi Houzhong. They camped at night outside Zhu. Li Baigong happened to be on patrol and ran into them. Seeing they had only single chariots, he sent 300 armored men to surround them. Hua Zhou and Qi Liang got down and swung halberds, killing in a frenzy, until half their men were down. Li Baigong grew afraid and offered to share rule over Zhu. They refused with one sentence: "To accept gain from the enemy is to lose righteousness. Since we have entered enemy ground, we only kill the enemy." They fought on, forcing Li Baigong to flee back into the city. When Duke Zhuang's main army arrived, he tried to lure them again with an offer to share rule over Qi itself. They abandoned their chariots and pressed forward on foot toward the gate of Qiyu. The people of Zhu dug trenches in the narrow road and burned charcoal fire to block them. Xi Houzhong lay down with a shield over the fire so the 2 men could step across. He was burned into blackened ash. Hua Zhou and Qi Liang wept, then continued the assault. Zhu had an ambush of 100 archers who fired together. Qi Liang died first. Hua Zhou was hit by dozens of arrows and captured. Duke Zhuang was furious and wanted to storm the city. Zhou kept apologizing, offering gold and silk, and returning bodies, but it did not work. Only when Wang Senghui sent urgent news did Duke Zhuang stop. Duke Ping of Jin had allied with Song, Lu, Wei, and Jing at Yi and planned to attack He. Duke Zhuang finally agreed to make peace, accepted ransom gifts, and withdrew with the bodies of Hua, Zhou, and Qi Liang. On the road, Meng Jiang came to meet Qi Liang's coffin. She refused mourning at the outskirts and forced Duke Zhuang to go to Qi Liang's home and perform the rites. Hua Zhou returned to Qi badly wounded and then died. That same year, great floods came and the Yellow River and Luo River overflowed. Jin's plan to attack Qi was also forced to stop. In the 5th month of the 23rd year of King Ling of Zhou, the ruler of Zhu, Li Baigang, came to Linzi in person to pay court. Duke Zhuang of Qi was delighted and held a grand banquet at the North Gate to receive him. Kui Zhu's residence happened to be in the North Gate area. He had long been watching Duke Zhuang's weakness. He pretended to be ill and refused to attend the banquet. Then he sent a trusted man to ask Jia Shu. Jia Shu reported in secret. After the banquet breaks up, the ruler will come to visit the minister's illness. Kui Zhu sneered. He is not coming to visit illness. He is coming because he thinks I am not there, so he can come do that shameless thing. He immediately forced Tang Jing. Today I will remove this foolish ruler. Do exactly as I say if you obey. I will not expose your disgrace, and I will make your son the legitimate heir. If you dare disobey, I will cut off the heads of you and your son first. Tang Jiang had no choice but to bow her head. A woman obeys her husband. I dare not refuse. Kui Zhu arranged everything on the spot. Tang Wuyu hid 100 armored men on both sides of the inner chamber. Kui Chang and Kui Zhang hid soldiers just inside the main gate. Dong Guoyan set another ambush layer outside the gate. They agreed that striking the bell would be the signal to act. Kui Zhu also sent a secret message to Jia Shu, telling him exactly how to lead Duke Zhuang inside. Duke Zhuang was already obsessed with Tang Zhang. That day, he heard Kui Zhu was too sick to rise, and his heart was pleased. At the banquet, he was distracted. As soon as it ended, he drove his chariot straight to the Kui house to visit the illness. The gatekeeper lied and said the minister had just taken medicine and lay down. Duke Zhuang asked where he lay. The answer was, in the outer room. Duke Zhuang was even happier and pushed straight in. 4 men followed him, Zhou Chu, Jia Zhu, Gong Sunao, and Lu Ying. Jia Shu barred the doorway and said, what the ruler intends to do, you all understand. Wait outside. Do not go in and disturb the minister. Zhou Chu and the others believed him and stayed outside. Only Jia Zhu refused to leave. What harm is there in leaving one man? He stood alone in the hall. Jia Shu closed the middle gate and went in. Outside, the gatekeepers also bolted and locked the main gate. Duke Zhuang entered the inner chamber, and Tang Jiang came out in heavy makeup. Before they had spoken more than a few words, a maid came in and reported, the minister is thirsty and wants honey water. Tang Jiang pretended to fetch it and slowly walked away with the maid through a side door. Duke Zhuang leaned on the threshold, waiting for her. When he grew impatient, he even began to sing lines from a poem. He had just finished when he heard the sound of halberds and blades in the corridor. Duke Zhuang was startled. He called for Jia Shu, but no one answered. Armored men appeared on all sides. Only then did he know he had been trapped. He rushed for the back door, but it was already shut. He forced the door open and burst out, then climbed onto a tower. Tang Wuju led armored men and surrounded the tower, shouting, by order of the minister, seize the lecherous thief. Duke Zhuang shouted through the railing, I am the ruler, let me go. Tang Wuju replied, the minister has given the order. I dare not decide on my own, Duke Zhuang said. Call the minister here. I will swear an oath and I will never harm him. Tang Wuju replied again, the minister is gravely ill and cannot come. Duke Zhuang retreated another step. I admit my guilt. Let me go to the ancestral temple and kill myself to atone. Is that acceptable? Tang Wujiu answered coldly. We recognize only the act of catching adultery, not a ruler. If you know your guilt, then kill yourself. Do not seek more humiliation. Duke Zhuang had no road left. He jumped from the tower window, ran to a flower terrace, and tried to climb over the wall. Tang Wujiu shot an arrow into his left leg. Duke Zhuang fell headfirst from the wall. The armored men swarmed and stabbed him to death. Tang Wujiu immediately ordered the bell struck as the signal. On the other side, Jiaju was still standing in the hall, listening. Jiaju came out with a candle and deceived him. "There are thieves inside. The ruler calls you. Go in first." "I will go bring Zhou Chu and the others." Jiaju asked for the candle. Jiaju handed it over and deliberately let it slip. The flame went out. Jiaju entered the middle gate in the dark, tripped over a rope, and fell. Kui Zhang rushed out and killed him with one stroke. Zhou Chu and the others outside still knew nothing. Dang Guoyan acted warmly, invited them into a side room, lit lamps, set out wine and meat, and urged them to lay down their weapons and drink. When the bell sounded inside the residence, Dong Guoyan even smiled and said, "The ruler has already started drinking." But Zhou Chuo felt cold inside and whispered, "Is there no fear of the minister?" At this time, those called the brave nobles fled in different directions. Wang He fled to Zhu, Lu Pu Kui fled to Jin, and before leaving he told his younger brother Lu Pu Pai, "Find a way to attach yourself to the Kui and Qing families and bring me back. When I return, I will avenge the ruler." Shan Qianyu fled to Chu. When the great officers of Qi heard the Kui clan had risen, each one shut his gates and dared not move. Only Yan Ying rushed to the Kui house. He entered, rested his head on Duke Zhuang's leg, and wept loudly. After he finished crying, he jumped 3 times and ran out. Tang Wujiu wanted to kill him to silence him, but Kui Zhu stopped him. "His reputation is high. If we kill him, we lose the people's hearts." After Yan Ying came out, he ran everywhere trying to set up a new ruler. Some people spread their hands. The troops are in the Gao and Guo families. Power is in the Ku and Qing families. What can I do? They fled to Song. Yan Ying went to see Gao Ji and Guo Xia. They also pushed it away. "The Kui clan is coming, and the Qing clan is here too. We cannot decide." Yan Ying could only sigh and withdraw. Before long, Qing Feng sent his son Qing Shi to purge the old followers of Duke Zhuang. Some were killed, some were driven out, and almost all were swept away. Qi Zhu and Qing Feng entered court and took power. They summoned the Gao and Guo families to discuss choosing a ruler. Gao and Guo pushed it to Qi and Qing. Qing Feng pushed it back to Qi Zhu. Qi Zhu made the decision. Established Zhu Ju, the son of Duke Ling. His mother is the daughter of Shusong Qiaoru of Lu, which also binds Lu. The others agreed in fear. They welcomed Zhu Ju and set him up as Duke Jing of Qi. Duke Jing was young. Kui Zhu made himself right minister, and Qing Feng became left minister. They gathered the officials in the temple of Jiang Taigong and swore a blood oath. Anyone not of one heart with Kui and Qing will fall when the sun sets. When it came to Yan Ying, he only sighed up to heaven. "If you truly are loyal to the ruler and benefit the state, then if I am not of one heart with you, I am willing to accept punishment from the highest God." Kulai and Qing changed color on the spot. Gao Ji and Guo Xia hurried to smooth it over. The 2 ministers are loyal to the ruler and benefit the state. Only then did Kui and Qing relax and smile again. Kui Zhu then ordered that the bodies of Zhou Chuo, Jie Zhu, and the others be gathered and that they be buried hastily with Duke Zhuang in the northern outskirts. He even forbade burying weapons with them, saying, "I fear they will still show off bravery underground." The hardest part was the historians. Zhi Mao ordered the grand historian Bo to write, "Duke Zhuang died of malaria." The historian refused and wrote instead, "In summer, in the 5th month, on the day Yi Hai, Zhi Mao killed his ruler Guang." Zhi Mao was furious and killed the historian Bo. Bo had 3 younger brothers, Zhuang, Shu, and Ji. One after another, they wrote the same sentence. Kuai Zhu killed 3 more. He threatened the last one. "Your 3 brothers are dead. Will you still not change it?" The last brother answered, "To record what is true is the duty of a historian. To live after losing that duty is worse than death. Even if I do not write it, someone in the world will. You cannot cover it." Kui Zhu had no choice and threw the bamboo slips back. The historian carried the slips back to the archives. At that moment, a southern historian arrived, saying, "I heard you all died. I feared no one would record what happened on the day Yahai in the 5th month, so I brought bamboo slips." The historian showed him what he had written, and only then did the southern historian leave. After Duke Zhuang died, Zhou and the others in the side room also met disaster. Dong Guyan used the excuse of inspecting the residence and left. Then the hidden soldiers pulled out. Zhou and the others reached for their weapons and found they had been stolen. Zhou, enraged, smashed a mounting stone and used it as a weapon, but by mistake he broke Lu Yin's leg. Gong Sen-ao swung a horse tethering post and knocked down many armored men of the Kui clan. The enemy pressed in with torches, and beards and hair caught fire. Kui Cheng and Kui Zhang led troops in slaughter. Gong Sen-ao tore off one of Kui Cheng's arms, then was stabbed to death by Kui Zhang's long halberd. Lu Yin was also killed. Zhou seized the halberd and still wanted to fight. Dong Guoyan shouted, "The foolish ruler has been punished. It has nothing to do with you. Why not spare your lives and serve the new ruler?" Zhou threw down the halberd. I fled from Jin to Qi and received a favor from the ruler of Qi. Today I could not give my full strength and instead harmed Lu Yin. If I live on, Qi and Jin will laugh in shame. He then slammed his head into the wall 3 or 4 times until the wall broke and his skull split. He died by his own hand. Most of the other brave nobles also died to follow him. Bingxi cut his throat outside the court gate. Fengju hanged himself. Duo Fu and Qiang Yin heard their companions were all dead, and they also killed themselves. Kuei-ju feared the scandal would grow and pushed Jia Shu out to be killed as well, to silence him. That same month, Du Ping of Jin saw the floodwaters had fallen and met the lords at Yiyi, planning to punish Qi. Qiji immediately sent Qing Feng to report, "We have already punished the foolish ruler for the great states first. The new ruler Chuju is born of a lady of Lu and is willing to serve the leading state again and not break the old alliance. We return Chao, and we present ancestral temple vessels and musical instruments." They also sent gifts to each lord. Duke Ping of Jin was overjoyed and withdrew his army. The other lords dispersed. Jin and Qi renewed their alliance. Now the camera turns to Wei Ning. Ji lay gravely ill. On his deathbed he held his son Ningxi and wept. "Driving out the ruler was not my true heart, but the world calls it the act of Sun and Ning. If you can restore the old ruler, you will wash away my guilt. If not, even in death I will not accept your sacrifices." Ningxi wept and agreed. From that day, he set his heart on restoring Duke Xian later. Duke Xian secretly sent word to Ningxi at Yi, "If you bring me back, I will give government to you. I will handle only sacrifices." Ningxi feared he would later regret it, so he demanded that Duke Xian's brother Prince Zhuang come in person as guarantee. Zhuang at first refused. "If the ruler says he does not want power, he will surely regret it later, and I will lose trust." Duke Xian swore again and again, and only then did Zhuang go to Dichu to see Ningxi and swear in person, "If I break my word, I will not eat a grain of whey." Only then did Ningxi feel at ease. In the 2nd month of the 25th year of King Ling of Zhou, Sanjia left on a mission to Qi under the order of Duke Shang. Only Sangxiang remained to guard. Ningxi seized the chance while the Sun forces were away. He gathered armored men and attacked Sangxiang's residence. The first attack failed. Sangxiang even rode out in pursuit, but Gang Sending shot an arrow into his chest. Scouts reported cries inside the residence and chaos at the gate. Ningxi judged Sangxiang must be dead. That night he attacked again. At the 3rd watch, he broke the gate. Yang Qiu climbed over the wall and fled to Qi. Qiu Dai was killed by the mob. The Sun House collapsed at once. Ningxi took the severed head into the palace and reported to Duke Xiang. "The Sun clan plotted rebellion. I have taken Sun Xiang's head." Duke Xiang instead cursed him. "In your eyes there is no me. You did not report first. Why do you now come to see me?" Ningxi pressed his hand to his sword and forced the palace. "You were raised by the Sun clan, not appointed by the late ruler. Please yield the throne and fulfill the virtue of abdication," Duke Xiang shouted. "I have been ruler for 13 years. I would rather die than accept this humiliation."
He raised a halberd and chased Ningxi, but outside, Ning troops already filled the palace.
With one command, Duke Shang was seized. The Crown Prince Zhou came to rescue him and was stabbed to death by Gong Sanding with a halberd. Ningxi imprisoned Duke Shang in the ancestral temple and forced him to drink poison and die. After that, Ningxi welcomed Duke Xian back. Yu Zaigu, Bei Gongyi, and Gong Sanding went to Yiyi to meet him. Duke Xian rushed back overnight, reached the state in 3 days, entered the ancestral temple, and received congratulations in court. Duke Xian gave great rewards. Ningxi alone became chief minister with full control and received 3,000 households. Bei Gongyi and Yu Zaigu and others were also promoted. He also recalled Ku Yuan and restored him to office. San Jia heard the change while returning from Qi and went straight back to Qi. San Linfu feared Duke Xian would settle accounts, so he attached Qi city to Jing and accused Ningxi of killing a ruler, asking Duke Ping of Jing to judge it. He also asked for aid to defend himself. Jian Li symbolically sent 300 men. San Linfu laughed to his son, San Kuai. Place these 300 men in the eastern Mao area. If Wei kills Jin's soldiers, Jin will be furious. Then we will not fear Jin will refuse to help us. Ningxi heard Jin sent only 300 and sneered as well. If Jin truly meant to help San Linfu, would they cover it with only 300? He immediately ordered Zhi Chuo to pick 1,000 elite troops and prepare a night attack on Mao. King Ling of Zhou had an eldest son named Crown Prince Jing, styled Zi Qiao. He was extremely bright and loved playing the sheng. When he played, it sounded like a phoenix calling. King Ling adored him and made him crown prince. When the crown prince was 17, he went traveling around Yike and the Luo River. Not long after he returned, word suddenly spread that he had died. King Ling collapsed on the spot and wept without restraint. But soon after, someone came again with a report. The crown prince is not dead. He is on Gaoling. He is riding a white crane and playing the sheng, and he asked me to bring a message. That man repeated the crown prince's words. Please tell the Son of Heaven that I am living on Mount Song with Master Fukyu. I am happy here, so do not worry about me. King Ling did not believe it. He immediately sent men to open the crown prince's tomb. When they opened it, the coffin was empty. Only then did King Ling understand. His son had not died. He had become an immortal and left. In the 27th year of King Ling's reign, he had another dream. He dreamed that Crown Prince Jin came with a crane to receive him. When King Ling woke up, he could faintly hear sheng music outside the door. He let out a long sigh and said, "My son has come to welcome me. It is time for me to go as well." He at once handed the throne to his second son, Prince Guai, and then, without illness or injury, he died. Prince Guai took the throne and became King Jing of Zhou. That same year, Chu also changed. King Kang of Chu died, and his full brother Zheng was set up as ruler. Not long after, Kuo Jin also died, and Prince Guai took the position of chief minister. Now the scene shifts to Qi. After Qing Feng took sole control of the government, he became more arrogant by the day and more shameless by the day. One day he went to Lu Pupai's house to drink. Lu Pupai had his wife come out to toast. Qing Feng took one look and his evil desire rose. He slept with her on the spot. After that, things grew even more outrageous. Qing Feng threw state business to his son Qing Shi. He moved all his wives, concubines, and wealth into Lu Pupai's house. The two households crowded together, husbands and wives and concubines mixing without restraint, drinking and feasting every day, and making a spectacle once they were drunk. Others covered their mouths and laughed, but Qing Feng and Lu Pupai treated it as normal. Lu Pupai used the moment to ask, "Bring my elder brother Lu Pukui back from Lu." Qing Feng agreed. As soon as Lu Pukui returned, he was assigned to serve Qing Shi. Qing Shi was strong. Lu Pukui was brave as well, and he knew how to flatter. He quickly won Qing Shi's trust. Qing Shi even married his daughter Qing Jiang to Lu Pukui. On the surface, Lu Pukui became one of the Qing family, but inside, he held one thought tight. He wanted revenge for Duke Zhuang of Qi. He lacked an inside partner, so during a hunt, he praised one man without stopping. Wang He is fierce. He is a true warrior. Qing Shi grew interested. Where is Wang He? Lu Pukui said, in Zhi Qing, She immediately sent for him. When Wang He returned to Qi, he quickly gained Qing Feng's favor as well. Qing Feng feared assassination, so wherever he went he demanded strong men with halberds guard him. Over time it became a fixed rule. Qing Shi trusted Lu Pukui and Wang He even more, and placed them as his personal halberd bearers. No one else could get close. Right then, another incident in the palace lit the fire. By custom, the public store supplied each noble house with 2 chickens a day. But Duke Jing of Qi loved eating chicken feet, and in a single meal he could use thousands of chickens. When the ruler loved it, the nobles copied it. Chicken prices soared. The palace cooks ran out of money and went to Qing Shi to ask for more. Lu Pupai deliberately stirred trouble and urged Qing Shi not to pay. The cooks had no choice and replaced chicken with duck. Then the servants assumed, duck meat is surely not for the ruler, and they secretly ate the meat. Only duck bones were placed on the tray. That day, Gao Chai and Luan Zhao dined with Duke Jing. When they saw there was no chicken and only duck bones, both exploded on the spot. Gao Chai slapped the table and stood to leave. The Qing clan rules the state and dares to cut the ruler's food. They even dare to insult us like this. The two did not eat a bite. They turned and walked out. Gao Chai was so angry he wanted to confront Qing Feng, but Luan Zhao held him back. Yet the matter had already been reported to Qing Feng. Qing Feng asked Lu Pupai, Gao Chai and Luan Zhao are angry at me. What should I do? Lu Pupai answered with one cruel line. If they are angry, kill them. What is there to fear? That line quickly reached Lu Pukui. Lu Pukui and Wang He discussed it, and Lu Pukui's eyes lit up. The Gao and Luan houses already hated the Qing clan. They could be used as a ready blade. That night, Wang Yi went to see Gao Chai and deliberately leaked a rumor. The Qing clan plans to strike first and attack the Gao and Luan houses. Gao Chai exploded. Qing Feng joined Kui Zhu in killing Duke Zhuang. The Kui clan is gone. Only the Qing clan remains. We should avenge Duke Zhuang. Wang He immediately answered, that is exactly my aim. You rise outside. Lu Pu and I respond inside. It cannot fail. So Gao Chai began plotting in secret with Luan Zhao. Chen Yuyu, Bao Guo, Yan Ying, and others all saw it, but Qi had long hated the Qing clan's tyranny. No one warned them. Lu Pukui and Wang He also went to divine, and the result was 6 words. The tiger leaves its den. The young tiger sees blood. Lu Pukui took the omen and tested Qing Shi. Someone plans to attack an enemy house. He cast this omen. Is it lucky or unlucky? Qing Shi read it and laughed. It will succeed. The father tiger leaves the den. The son tiger sees blood. How could it not succeed? Who is the enemy? Lu Pukui brushed it off. Just local small folk. Qing Shi did not doubt him at all. By mid-autumn, in the 8th month, Qing Feng took his clansmen Qing Si and Qing Yi to hunt in Donglai, and he dragged Chen Wuyu along. Chen Wuyu's father, Chen Xiu, warned his son as he saw him off. Great disaster is coming to the Qing clan. If you go, you may be buried with them. Better refuse. Chen Wuyu said, if I refuse, he will suspect me. I do not dare. He only said that if his father could find an excuse to summon him back to the city, he would seize the chance to get away. Once Qing Feng left the city, Lu Pukui said, the words, the tiger leaves its den, have already been fulfilled. He meant Qing Feng had left the capital. They could move. He planned to strike on the day of the ritual for tasting the new grain. Chen Xiuwu feared his son would be dragged in the disaster with Qing Feng, so he lied that his wife was gravely ill and urgently recalled Chen Wuyu. Chen Wuyu used the excuse to leave. He even pretended to divine about his mother's illness, but in truth he was looking at the Qing clan's fate. After divining, Qing Feng even said an unlucky line. An omen of losing oneself. I fear the old lady will not recover. Chen Wuyu held the turtle shell and wept. Qing Feng's heart softened and he let him go. At that moment, Qing Si grew suspicious and urged Qing Feng to return to the capital. Qing Feng dismissed it. My son is in the city. What is there to fear? When Chen Wuyu crossed the river, he immediately tore down the bridge and destroyed the boats, cutting off Qing Feng's road back. Qing Feng still understood nothing. Inside the city, Lu Pukui began placing armed men. Qingjiang sensed her husband was hiding something and pressed him. "If you have a plan and do not discuss it with me, it will never succeed." Lu Pukui laughed. "You are a woman. What ideas could you have?" Qingjiang snapped back. "Have you not heard that a wise wife can surpass her husband? Even Yi Jiang could pacify rebel ministers." Lu Pukui feared she might leak secrets like Yongji, so he tested her. "If you were in Yongji's place, what would you do?" Qingjiang said. "If I can help, I will help. If I cannot, I will still never leak it." Only then did Lu Pukui tell the truth. "The ruler suffers under the Qing clan's power. He is plotting with Gao Chai and Luan Zhao to drive your house out. I am preparing. Do not let it slip." Qingjiang became even more direct. "The chief minister is out of the city. This is the chance," Lu Pukui said. "We must wait for the ritual day for tasting the new grain." Qingjiang's thought was sharper still. "My father is stubborn and obsessed with drink and women. If you urge him not to go, he will go even more. Let me go and warn him not to go. Then he will surely go out." Sure enough, Qingjiang went to Qingxi and said, "I heard Gao Chai and Luan Zhao will use the ritual to harm you. You must not go out." Qingxi erupted. "Those two beasts. I will skin them and sleep on their hides. Who dares touch me?" Then he made the decision. On the ritual day, Duke Jing performed rites in the ancestral temple. All ministers arrived, and Qingxi arrived too. The Qing clan even used his private armor to seal the ancestral temple like an iron barrel. Lu Pukui and Wang He held ceremonial halberds and stood tied to Qingxi, one on each side. They did not leave him a step. Outside, the Chen and Bao houses arranged a show in Fish Li Street to lure Qing soldiers into watching. A Qing horse was startled and ran. Soldiers chased it back, then tied all the horses together, threw off armor and weapons, and ran to watch the show. In that opening, the strong men of 4 houses gathered outside the temple gate. Lu Pukui used the excuse of relieving himself and left the temple. He agreed signals with the men outside and quietly surrounded the temple. When he returned, he stood behind Qingxi and held his halberd reversed as a signal to Gao Chai. Gao Chai understood. He told the attendant to strike the small gate 3 times. In the next moment, armored men poured in. Qingxi startled and rose, but before he even left his seat, Lu Pukui stabbed from behind, the blade driving in under the armpit. Wang He struck again with a halberd and shattered Qingxi's left shoulder bone. "Qing," she glared at Wang He and ground out, "So you are the rebels." In pain, he seized the ritual vessel and hurled it at Wang He, smashing him dead on the spot. Lu Pukui immediately ordered men to seize Qingsheng and kill him first. Qingxi was too badly wounded. He clung to a pillar and shook it with all his strength. Even the temple roof beams trembled. At last he gave one great shout and died there. Duke Jing was terrified and tried to flee, but Yan Ying quickly spoke in secret. "The ministers are executing the Qing clan to stabilize the state. They have no other intent." Only then did Duke Jing steady himself. He changed out of ritual robes, mounted his chariot, and returned to the palace. Next came the reckoning. Lu Pukui led the 4 house troops to slaughter the Qing clan's allies. Each house took a city gate to prevent Qing Feng's return. Qing Feng, returning from the hunt, heard a household servant crying, "Qing, she has been killed." He raged and charged back to attack the west gate, but defenses were sealed and his troops kept deserting. He could not hold. He fled to Lu Kai, blamed Lu for harboring a rebel. Lu planned to seize him and send him to Qi, so Qing Feng fled again to Wu. The king of Wu, Yi Mei, settled him at Zhufang and gave him a stipend richer than what he had in Qi. He also ordered him to spy on Chu for Wu. A man in Lu sighed. "Qing Feng is rich again. Does heaven still protect the lewd and wicked?" Shu Songbao replied coldly. "When a good man is rich, it is a reward. When a lewd man is rich, it is punishment. The Qing clan's punishment has arrived. It is not fortune." With Qing Feng gone, Qi's government fell into the hands of Gao Chai and Luan Zhao. In the capital, they announced the crimes of the Kui and Qing houses and displayed Qingxi's corpse in court. The Weizhou's coffin could not be found, so they offered a reward. The cart driver who had helped Kuei Ming bury it wanted the prize and informed on it. They dug up the Kuei ancestral graves and split the coffin. Inside were Kuei Zhu and Tang Jiang. Duke Jing wanted even Tang Jiang's corpse punished, but Yan Ning stopped him. To disgrace a corpse is one thing. To disgrace a woman's corpse violates ritual, so they displayed only Kui Zhu's body in the market. The city crowded to look and said, "So it truly is him." The fiefs of both houses were divided up by the ministers. Because much of Qin Feng's wealth was kept in Lu Pu Pai's house, the ministers used the charge of sexual debauchery to exile Lu Pu Pai to northern Yan. Lu Pu Kui followed, and their wealth was looted clean. Only Chen de Wuyu took nothing. The Qing estate had more than 100 carloads of timber. Others wanted to give it to the Chen house, but Chen Wuyu distributed all of it to the capital's common people. The people of Qi praised the Chen house for benevolence. These were events of the early years of King Jing of Zhou. In the next year, Luan Zhao died. His son, Luan Shi, took his place and ruled together with Gao Chai. Gao Chai then feared Gao Zhi and drove him out. Gao Zhi fled to northern Yan, and his son Gao Shu held Lu City to protect himself. Duke Jing sent Lu Qiuying to besiege Lu. Gao Shu said, "I am not rebelling. I only fear the Gao line will be cut off." Lu Qiuying promised to establish an heir for the Gao house, and only then did Gao Shu flee to Jin. Duke Jing established Gao Yan to continue the line of Gao Shi, yet Gao Chai still grew angry. "You removed one and then set up another. What difference is there?" He slandered Lu Qiuying to death. He also used excuses to drive out princes such as Zi Shan, Zi Shang, and Zi Zhou. In the capital, no one dared meet his eyes. Not long after, Gao Chai died. His son Gao Qiang was young and not yet a full minister, so real power went entirely to Luan Shi. At the same time, the Central Plains looked calm on the surface, and Jin and Chu were at peace, but Xing fell into chaos. In Xing, the chief minister Liang Shao, also called Bo Yu, was addicted to luxury and drink. He dug an underground chamber in his house to hide wine vessels, bells, and drums, and he held long nights of drinking until dawn. Even when household ministers came to see him, he refused to meet them. One day, he came to court drunk and casually ordered Gong Sun-hei to go as envoy to Chu. Gong Sun-hei was in the middle of fighting over a marriage and did not want to travel. He went to beg Bo Yu, but the gatekeeper said, "The master has gone into the pit. No one dares report." Gong Sun-hei raged. That night, he joined with Yin Duan and surrounded Bo Yu's residence and set it on fire. Bo Yu was so drunk he did not wake. He was lifted into a chariot and fled to Yongliang. When Bo Yu sobered up, he wanted to counterattack. He heard the city houses had formed an alliance against the Liang clan, and only the Guo and Han houses refused to join. He even felt pleased. "Those two houses are helping me." He attacked the north gate, but Sirai and Yin Duan met him in battle and defeated him. He fled into a butcher's shop and was killed by disorderly soldiers, and his household followers died as well. Zichang Gong Sun Keiyua arrived, held the corpse, and wept loudly. He gathered the Liang dead and buried them together. Gong Sun-hei then blamed Zichan and wanted to fight again, but Han Hu stopped him. Ritual is the foundation of a state. To kill a man of ritual brings ill fortune. Only then did Gong Sun-hei stop. Duke Qian of Zheng wanted Han Hu to govern, but Han Hu refused. "I am not as good as Zichan." So Zichan governed. He reformed institutions, marked fields and waterways, restrained extravagance, and promoted frugality, and only then did Jiang slowly return to order. Later, Gong Sun-hei again damaged governance. Zichan listed his crimes and executed him by law. He also promulgated laws and set up township schools to hear public discussion, and his authority steadily grew. Then the city spread rumors of Bo Yu's ghost. People said that night they met Bo Yu at the north gate, armored and holding a halberd, shouting that he would kill Sai Dai and Ying Duan. The city panicked, and people ran. Not long after, Sai Dai fell ill and died, and Ying Duan also died, and fear grew worse. So Zichan let Bo Yu's son Liang Zhi inherit the rank and conduct sacrifices. He also established Gong Sun Si to share the office, and the rumors immediately vanished. Yu Ji asked why. Zichan explained that when a violent man dies suddenly, his spirit does not settle, so he must be given a place to belong. but they could not openly say they were establishing an heir because they feared a ghost. They had to use the public reason of restoring a broken line so the people would not fall into superstition. Then came an even harsher case. Duke Jing of Kai arranged a Chu woman of the Mi clan to marry Crown Prince Ban, but he himself slept with her. Crown Prince Ban shook with anger. If a father is not like a father, then a son need not act like a son. He pretended to go hunting and hid in her attendants in the palace. Duke Jing thought his son was away and entered the eastern palace to meet the Mi woman. Crown Prince Ban suddenly appeared and killed his father with one stroke. Yet, to the outside, he issued an announcement saying Duke Jing had died of sudden illness, and he took the throne as Duke Ling of Kai. All states knew he had killed his father, but the hegemon was lazy, and no one punished him. That same year, the Song Palace caught fire at midnight. Lady Boji of Song was a woman of Lu. Those around her urged her to flee, but she said, "A woman follows the female rites. If my matron is not present, I cannot leave the hall at night. Even when fire presses, I cannot abandon ritual." When the matron arrived, Boji had already burned to death, and the people of Song all lamented. Duke Ping of Jing pitied Song's disaster and also remembered that Song had helped bring peace between Jin and Chu. He held an assembly of the lords at Changyu and ordered each state to contribute goods to aid Song. Later, in the 4th year of King Jin of Zhou, Jin and Chu held an alliance meeting at Guo. At that time, Chu's chief minister was Prince Wei. He was arrogant, held power tight, and his ambition became clearer by the day. Before going to the meeting, he went first to Zheng to fetch a bride, a daughter of the Feng clan. He deliberately used ritual forms beyond his rank. 2 men with halberds led the way, and the procession looked as if the king of Chu himself had arrived. Jiang's ruler and ministers were terrified and rushed out overnight, only to discover it was Prince Wei. Zai Chen despised him for stirring trouble and used the excuse that the guest lodge is not repaired to place him outside the city. Prince Wei meant to bring troops into the city under the pretext of the wedding and launch a sudden strike. Zai Chen sent Yuji to block him. Yuji answered bluntly, "An army does not enter the city, much less for a wedding. If you want display, go drill your troops." Wu Ju also advised him in private, so Prince Wei had to comply. He ordered the soldiers to enter without bows, with their quivers turned downward, and only then did he enter for the wedding, and afterward hurried to the alliance meeting. At Guo, Prince Wei proposed, "Do not repeat the blood oath. Only read aloud the old pledge text from the Song Alliance," Kiwu reminded Zhou. He fears vying for precedence because precedence always favors Chu. But Zhou said, "Prince Wei carries himself like a king. His heart is not only resisting abroad, I fear he plans rebellion at home. Agree with him first and let him grow more arrogant." So Jin agreed to read the old pledge. When the meeting ended, all states could see that Prince Wei intended to seize the throne. When Prince Wei returned to Chu, the ruler Zhongjing was ill in the palace. Prince Wei entered to visit him, dismissed all attendants, strangled Zhongzhong with his cap cord, and then killed Zhongzhong's 2 sons, Zhongmu and Zhongpingxia. The right officer Zhongbai fled to Jing, and the stable officer Zhongheigong fled to Jing. Wu Ju polished the official announcement to sound more proper. In the end, Prince Wei took the throne, changed his name to Zhuangqian, and became King Ling of Chu. After taking power, King Ling grew even more arrogant. He killed Bozhou Li, made his heir Shuang Lu, and forced Duke Ping of Jin to accept that all states should be placed under Chu's command, and he even demanded Jin help him seek marriages. Jin did not dare refuse because Zhao Wu was already dead. In the winter of the 6th year of King Jin of Zhou, King Ling of Chu summoned the lords to a grand meeting at Shen. He displayed war chariots to intimidate them first. He even detained the ruler of Chu for 3 days, forcing him to serve as guide for an attack on Wu, and only then released him. Wu Ju advised, "Attack Wu first, using the execution of Qing Feng as the pretext. You gain 2 benefits at once." King Ling was delighted. The allied troops besieged Zhu Feng, captured Qing Feng, and destroyed his clan, then returned to Shen to present the victory. King Ling wanted to kill Qingfeng publicly. Wu Ju warned him, "Only a man without fault can kill another without inviting ridicule. If you kill him, others may mock you." King Ling refused. He forced Qingfeng to confess his crimes. Qingfeng instead bit back with one sentence and threw the fire onto King Ling. "All of you ministers should not learn from me. And you should certainly not learn from Prince Wei, the son of King Gong of Chu." He killed his ruler, seized the throne, and still holds alliance meetings. The lords could not help covering their mouths and laughing. King Ling flushed with shame and rage and killed Qingfeng at once. After returning home, he also suspected Kushen of colluding with Wu and killed Kushen too. Later, when King Ling attacked Wu again and achieved nothing, even he sighed, "If I had known, I should not have killed Kushen," but he was ashamed of failing. He turned to massive construction and built the Zhanghua Palace. It was absurdly large, 40 li across, and he built the Zhanghua Terrace 30 ren high. To climb it, you had to stop to rest 3 times, so it was also called the 3-rest terrace. He also recalled all exiles and criminals and forced them into labor. When the palace was finished, King Ling of Chu sent envoys in all directions to summon the lords to attend the completion celebration. King Ling of Chu had a strange obsession. He only loved slim waists. It did not matter if you were male or female. If your waist was thick, he would look once and feel disgusted. After the Zhanghua Palace was finished, he picked only slim-waisted beauties to live inside. He even started calling the Zhanghua Palace the Slim-Waist Palace. People in the palace wanted to please him, so they ate very little and endured hunger, forcing their waists to become thinner and thinner. Some got so hungry that they felt dizzy and faint, and some even starved to death without regret. The people in the capital copied the trend too. If someone had a thick waist, they felt ashamed and did not dare eat their fill. Even officials at court tied soft bands tightly around their waists, afraid King Ling would dislike them. King Ling sank into the slim-waist palace and spent day and night drinking and enjoying himself. The sounds of zithers and shangpipes never stopped. One day, King Ling held a banquet on the Jianhua Terrace and was drinking happily when he suddenly heard loud noise below. Pan Zichen brought an official up in custody. King Ling looked and saw it was Yu Yin Shen Wu Yu. Pan Zichen accused him. Shen Wu Yu did not follow the king's order. He forced his way into the palace and even seized the palace guard. This is extremely rude. I control the palace gates, so I have brought him here for your majesty to decide. King Ling asked Shen Wu Yu, "Who did you seize?" Shen Wu Yu answered, "That man was the gatekeeper of my own house. He jumped over my wall, broke in, and stole my wine vessels. When the matter was discovered, he ran away. I searched for more than a year, and today he actually mixed into the royal palace and became a guard, so I seized him." King Ling said, "Since he is serving as a palace guard, let it go." Shen Wu Yu immediately pushed back. Heaven has 10 sons, and people have 10 ranks. From the king down to dukes, ministers, great officers, and scholars, and then down to attendants and servants, each has a level. The higher controls the lower, and the lower serves the higher, and only then does a state avoid chaos. If I cannot even punish a thief in my own household, and I let him hide in the palace as his shelter, then thieves will run wild under heaven. I would rather die than obey such an order." After hearing this, King Ling nodded instead. "Worthy minister, you are right." He handed the man over to Shen Wu Yu to handle, and he did not punish Shen Wu Yu for entering the palace. A few days later, the great officer Wei Qijiang invited Duke Zhao of Lu to Chu. King Ling was delighted. Wei Qijiang warned him. The Duke of Lu did not want to come. I kept citing old alliances, and I even frightened him by threatening to attack Lu's ministers, and only then did he come. The Duke of Lu understands ritual best. Your Majesty must be careful, or he may mock you. King Ling asked, "What does the Duke of Lu look like?" Wei Qijiang said, "He is tall and fair-skinned, and his beard is more than 1 chai long. His bearing is very dignified." King Ling secretly chose 10 tall, long-bearded strong men and had them drill ritual movements for 3 days to serve as the ceremonial guard to welcome the Duke of Lu. When Duke Zhao saw that display, he froze, and he could only accompany King Ling to tour the Zhanghua Palace. When he saw how grand the halls were, he praised them again and again.
King Ling deliberately asked, "Does Lu also have a palace like this?" Duke Zhou quickly bowed. "My state is small and narrow. How could we dare compare with even a tiny fraction of your state?" Then they climbed the Zhanghua Terrace. The terrace was high and the path was steep, winding upward in many layers. On the terrace, many beautiful boys under 20 were selected and dressed like women. They held jade cups and sang songs of Ying to urge the guests to drink. The music surged into the sky and fragrant powder filled the air. It truly felt like entering a land of immortals. When they parted, King Ling gifted Duke Zhao a precious bow called Daku, but the next day he regretted it. Wei Qijiang said, "I can get the bow back." He went to Duke Zhao's lodging and pretended he did not know. He asked, "Yesterday at our king's banquet, what did His Majesty give you?" Duke Zhao brought out the precious bow. Wei Qijiang bowed twice and said, "Congratulations to your lordship." Duke Zhao was stunned. "Why congratulate me over a bow?" Wei Qijiang said, "This bow is famous under heaven. Qi, Jin, and you all sent people to ask for it. Our king feared unfairness and did not dare give it lightly. Now he has given it only to your lordship. Those other states will surely come to Lu to demand it. Your lordship must guard carefully against powerful neighbors." Duke Zhao was frightened. "How could I dare accept such a heavy treasure?" He immediately returned the bow to Chu, and then he took leave and went back to Lu. When Wu Zhu heard this, he sighed. "Our king will not end well." He summoned the lords to the completion ceremony and no one came. Duke Zhao came, yet the king could not even bear to part with one bow. If he cannot bear to give up what is his, sooner or later he will go seize what belongs to others. Once he seizes, he makes enemies, and then death is not far. When Duke Ping of Jin heard that Chu used the Zhanghua Palace to intimidate the lords, he felt unwilling to accept it. Even the southern people can use palaces to show power to the lords. Can Jin really be worse than that? Yang Shishi advised him. A hegemon wins the lords through benevolence, not through palaces. Duke Ping would not listen. Beside the Fen River at Kuwo, he built a Siki Palace. It was more refined than the Zhanghua Palace. He also sent notices to summon the lords to offer congratulations. The lords secretly mocked his extravagance, but they did not dare refuse to attend. On the way to Jin, Duke Ling of Wei stayed overnight by the Pu River. In the middle of the night, he heard a zither tune he had never heard before. He asked his attendants, but no one heard it. The musician Shi Wan at his side said, "If I hear it for one more night, I can remember it all." On the second night, the music rose again, and Shi Wan learned it on the spot. At a banquet in Jin, Duke Ping wanted to hear a new tune. Shi Wan played it, and Duke Ping praised it. Halfway through, Shi Guang suddenly pressed the strings. "Stop, this is music of a ruined state. It must not be played," Duke Ping asked. "Why?" Shi Guang said. At the end of the yin, the musician Yan played this tune for King Zhou. King Zhou indulged in music and lost his state. Yan carried his zither and threw himself into the Pu River, and the tune then hid in the water. Shi Wan heard it at the Pu River, so it must be that tune. Duke Ping refused to stop and insisted on hearing it to the end. Shi Huang said the tune was called Qing Shang. Duke Ping asked again, "Is there something even more moving?" Shi Huang said, "Qing's ear is stronger, but only a ruler of virtue may hear it." Duke Ping demanded it anyway. When Qingzi was played, black cranes flew in and landed on the beams, then on the steps, and danced with the music. The whole hall gasped in wonder. Duke Ping still was not satisfied and demanded Qingju. Shi Kuang pleaded with him. "This tune was made when the Yellow Emperor met spirits. Your virtue is thin. If you play it, disaster will come," Duke Ping said. "If I hear it once, I can die without regret." Shi Kuang had no choice and played. When the zither began, dark clouds pressed over the city. When he played again, wild wind rose, curtains tore, tiles flew, and thunder and rain poured down. The guests fled in panic, and Duke Ping and Duke Ling of Wei hid by the corridor pillars, trembling. After the storm stopped, Duke Ping fell ill from shock. That night he dreamed of a yellow thing like a wheel, with 3 legs like a turtle, rushing into the bedroom gate. The ministers could not explain it. Yang Shishi went to ask Zi Chan. Zi Chan said, "A 3-legged turtle is called Nang. Long ago, Gan failed to control floods and was killed, and his essence became the yellow Nang. Now the Zhou royal house is weak, and the hegemon should help the Son of Heaven offer sacrifices to the gods. Your ruler may be missing that sacrifice, so the dream came as a warning. Duke Ping performed the rites and sacrificed to Gan, and his illness eased for a time. He praised Zichan for broad learning, but Zichan privately told Yang Shishi, "Your ruler does not care about the people's hardship and imitates Chu's luxury. His heart is already crooked, and his illness will return." Sure enough, the old illness returned soon, and Duke Ping of Jin died within 3 years. His heir, Yi, took the throne and became Duke Zhao of Jin. In Qi, Gao Chai had already died. His son Gao Qiang was young and loved wine. Luan Shi also loved wine, and the two houses gradually formed one faction. Chen Wuyu and Bao Guo formed the other side. After drinking, they often cursed Chen and Bao, and suspicion between the sides grew deeper. One day, Gao Qiang, drunk, whipped a young servant. The servant held a grudge and went at night to Chen Wuyu and said, "Luan and Gao will gather their household men tomorrow to attack Chen and Bao." He also went to report it to Bao Guo. Bao Guo believed it and urgently summoned Chen Wuyu. Chen Wuyu put on armor and rushed to meet him. On the road, he happened to meet Gao Qiang. Gao Qiang asked, "Where are you going with armored men?" Chen Wuyu lied, "To punish a rebel slave." Gao Qiang said, "I am going to the Luan house to drink." They each went on. Chen and Bao sent scouts to the Luan house. The scouts reported, "The two great officers have taken off their caps and are squatting on the ground competing in drinking." Bao Guo said, "The servant lied." But Chen Wuyu said, "Gao Qiang saw me in armor. If there is no real target, he will suspect me. Better strike first." So the Chen and Biao troops surrounded the Luan residence. Luan Shi was raising a cup when he heard soldiers arrive, and the cup fell to the ground. Gao Qiang, though drunk, still had his wits. "Quick, put on armor and enter the palace. Claim the ruler's order to attack Chen and Biao." The two filed out through the back gate and rushed to the tiger gate of the Qi palace. Chen and Bao pursued closely. Duke Jing of Qi did not know the cause, quickly shut the tiger gate, and summoned Yan Ying into the palace. The four houses faced off. Yan Ying said, "Yan Ying listens only to the ruler's command." After entering, Duke Jing asked for a plan. Yan Ying said, "Luan and Gao have been overbearing for a long time, and their crimes are heavy. Chen and Bao raised troops without an order, and they also have guilt. Please let the ruler decide." Duke Jing asked, "Who can be used?" Yan Ying recommended Wang He. Wang He led the public troops to help Chen and Bao attack Luan and Gao. People in the city who hated Luan and Gao also joined the fight. Gao Qiang was still drunk and fought poorly. Luan Shi fled first through the east gate, and Gao Qiang fled with him. In the end, they were driven out of the state. Chen and Bao divided the two houses' wealth. Yan Ying reminded Chen Wuyu, "If you take all the profit alone, people will criticize you. Better offer it all to the ruler." Chen Wuyu immediately offered his fiefs and wealth. He also paid from his own purse to welcome back the expelled princes, helped widows and orphans, and burned dead contracts for the poor. The people of Qi all praised the Chen house for benevolence. King Ling of Chu saw that few lords came to congratulate the Zhanghua Palace, and he heard that the lords all went to Jinsi Palace. He felt bitter and wanted to march north. Wu Zhu advised, "If you summon the lords with virtue, and they do not come, that is their fault. If you summon them with earthworks and buildings and then blame them, they will not submit. If you want to use arms, you must attack a guilty state." King Ling asked, "Who is guilty?" Wu Zhu answered, "Crown Prince Ben of Kai has murdered his ruler for 9 years. He should be punished. Kai is near Chu. If you attack and annex it, you gain both righteousness and profit." Before he finished speaking, a close attendant reported, "Chen has sent a funeral notice, saying the ruler of Chen drowned, and Prince Liu has taken the throne." Wu Zhu immediately grew alert. Chen's crown prince Yanxi is recorded among the lords. Now they set up Prince Liu instead. There must be turmoil in Chen. Duke Af Chen was named Ni. In his inner palace, he had 3 consorts. The principal consort,
Lady Zhang, gave birth to Yang Shi, and Yang Shi was made crown prince very early. The second consort gave birth to Prince Liu. The third consort gave birth to Prince Shang. The problem was Duke Ai's extreme favoritism. The moment Prince Liu was born, Duke Ai doted on him to an absurd degree. But Yan Shi was already crown prince, and Duke Ai could not find any excuse to depose him. So he secretly told his younger brothers, Prince Zhou and Prince Guo, after Yan Shi takes the throne, you must make him pass the throne to Prince Liu. That one sentence was like a thorn planted in the future. Later, Duke Ai fell seriously ill and stayed in bed, not holding court for a long time. Prince Zhao turned to Prince Guo and said, once Yan Shi becomes ruler, he will surely name Gongsun Wu as crown prince. How could Prince Liu ever get a turn? The ruler entrusted us, and we cannot betray that trust. While the ruler is not dead yet, we should forge an order. Kill Yan Shi first, and then install Prince Liu. Otherwise, we will regret it. The more they talked, the more they felt it made sense. They pulled in the great officer Chen Kenghuan to discuss it. Chen Kenghuan said, the crown prince comes to ask after the ruler 3 times a day and stays close to him, so it will be hard to forge an order. Better to lay an ambush at the palace gate and strike him in one blow as he goes in or out. That night they acted. Yan Shi went to pay his respects as usual. As he left the palace, the lights were suddenly extinguished, assassins rushed him, and the crown prince was stabbed to death on the spot. The palace gate instantly fell into chaos. Prince Zhao and Prince Guo pretended to panic. They shouted about searching for the bandits, and at the same time they pushed their next move. The ruler is gravely ill. A state cannot be without a ruler for even one day. We should install the second son, Prince Liu. When Duke Ai heard that the crown prince had been murdered, he trembled with rage and hanged himself that very night. Prince Liu immediately took the throne. To the outside world, he claimed Duke Ai had died of illness, and he sent an envoy to Chu to report the death. Wu Zhu, at King Ling of Chu's side, heard it and felt something was wrong at once. Where had the original crown prince Yan Shi gone? While they were still suspicious, Prince Shang and Gongsun Wu fled to Chu and cried as they reported, the crown prince was murdered by Prince Zhao and Prince Guo, and our father then hanged himself. They installed Prince Liu on their own, and we fear we will be killed next, so we have come to seek refuge. King Ling of Chu flew into a rage. He seized the mourning envoy Yu Jianshi, questioned him, and when Yu Jianshi could not deny it, he was executed on the spot. Wu Zhu pressed the advantage and said, the rebels are now clearly exposed. Better to support Gongsun Wu to punish the traitors. That will be righteous and proper. After pacifying Chen, we can move on to Kai. Your Majesty's achievements will rival King Zhuang. King Ling was delighted and immediately sent troops. When Prince Liu heard that Chu had killed the envoy, he knew everything had been exposed and fled overnight to Zheng. Prince Zhao did not run. He said instead, I have a way to drive back the Chu army. When the Chu army arrived, the people of Chen all sympathized with the murdered Yan Shi. When they saw Gongsun Wu traveling with Chu, they opened the city and welcomed the Chu forces. Prince Zhao saw the situation was hopeless and turned to Prince Guo. To drive back the Chu army, I only need one thing from you. I will borrow it. Prince Guo asked, borrow what? Prince Zhao answered coldly, I will borrow your head. Before the words were even finished, men rushed in with clubs and beat Prince Guo to death. Prince Shao carried the severed head to King Ling of Chu, knelt, and said, the one who killed the crown prince was Prince Guo. I have executed him. I beg your majesty for mercy. King Ling saw him humble and submissive, and actually found him more pleasing. Prince Shao then whispered another suggestion. In King Zhuang's time, Chen was pacified and then restored, and the prophet was thrown away. Now Chen has no ruler. Better to take it as a Chu county. King Ling nodded. That is exactly what I want. The next day, Prince Zhao went out to welcome King Ling into Chen, but King Ling publicly executed Chen Konghuan as well, and he hung Prince Guo's head on the city gate as a warning. Then he sneered at Prince Zhao. I wanted to spare you, but public judgment will not allow it. I will leave you alive, and you will go far away to the Eastern Sea. Prince Zhao was escorted into exile in Yu. After that, King Ling destroyed the ancestral temples of Chen, abolished Chen as a state,
and turned it into a county. He handed the land of Chen to Chuanfengshu to guard. Gongsun Wu was taken back to Chu as well, and the people of Chen were bitterly disappointed. After resting the army for 1 year, King Ling set his eyes on Kai. Wu Ju offered a plan. The Marquis of Kai, Ban, has murdered his father for many years. Better to lure him here and kill him. King Ling pretended to make an inspection tour. He stationed troops at Shen and sent heavy gifts to invite the Marquis of Kai to meet. The Marquis of Kai felt uneasy. The great officer Gongsun Guisheng urged him, "Do not go. The king of Chu is greedy and has no faith." The Marquis of Kai sighed. "If I do not go and he raises an army, who can stop him?" Before leaving, he made his son Yu crown prince to oversee the state, and he went in fear. At Shen, King Ling welcomed him warmly with a banquet and full music and dance. When the drinking reached its height, King Ling suddenly threw down his cup as a signal. He and the soldiers surged out and bound the Marquis of Kai in front of everyone. King Ling declared aloud, "The Marquis of Kai murdered his father. I execute him on heaven's behalf." When the Marquis of Kai came to his senses, he still asked, "What is my crime?" King Ling answered coldly, "To murder your father is rebellion against heaven." The Marquis of Kai only sighed once. "I regret not listening to Guisheng." Then he was torn apart by chariots, and more than 70 attendants were executed with him. The Chu army then surrounded Kai. Crown Prince Yu held the city and asked Jing for help. Duke Xiao of Jing summoned the lords to discuss it. Every state feared Chu and would not send troops. They only wrote letters urging restraint. King Ling read the letters and sneered. "Chen and Kai are my dependent states. The North need not meddle." He did not even reply. Kai was besieged for months. Grain ran out and people starved. Gongsun Guisheng died of illness. Chu soldiers climbed the walls like ants, and the city fell. Crown Prince Yu was captured and brought before King Ling, and he was used as a sacrificial victim and killed at Zhugong Mountain. Chen Yuyu tried to stop it. Song Xianggong once killed a ruler as a sacrifice, and the lords turned away from him. "Your Majesty must not repeat that mistake," King Ling refused. "He is the son of a rebel. What is there to discuss?" Kai Wei was released because of loyal service, but he held revenge in his heart. He even used the moment to advise, "Chen and Kai connect to the central plains. Better to build high walls and strong ramparts, and station troops as a show of power, and then plan against Wu and Yu." King Ling was delighted. He immediately began huge construction again, expanding the walls of Chen and Kai, and he involved Qji as Lord of Kai. Chu's momentum grew stronger and stronger. Small states came to pay court, and great states also sought friendly ties. At this time, Duke Jing of Qi sent Yan Ying as an envoy to Chu. King Ling wanted to humiliate Yan Ying. He deliberately cut a small hole, 5 chi wide, in the east gate and ordered Yan Ying to crawl in. Yan Ying stopped his carriage and threw the words back at him. "When you enter a dog state, you use a dog gate. When you enter a human state, you use a human gate." King Ling had no choice and opened the main gate. In court, Chu ministers mocked Qi again and again, and they mocked Yang Ying for being short. Yang Ying answered every line. When someone laughed at his height, he said, "A scale weight is small, but it can press down 1,000 jin." When someone sneered at disorder in Qi, he asked back, "Does Chu have no history of rulers being killed?" He shut them up on the spot. King Ling asked, "Does Q have no one left?" Yan Yan answered, "In the capital of Qi, people's sweat is so thick it could fall like rain. How could we have no one?" King Ling asked again. "Then why did you send a petty man?" Yan Yan replied, "A worthy state sends a worthy man. An unworthy state receives a petty man. I am the most unworthy, so I was sent to Chu." King Ling's face could not hold the moment. Then a thief from Qi was brought across the hall. King Ling seized the chance. "Are people of Qi all thieves?" Yan Ying stayed calm. "Oranges that grow south of the Y are oranges. When they grow north of the Y, they become bitter trifoliate orange trees. A person in Qi does not steal. A person in Chu becomes a thief. That is the soil of Chu, not the people of Qi." King Ling could only force a bitter smile. "I wanted to humiliate you, but I have been humiliated instead."
He could only send Yan Ying back with generous gifts.
Duke Jing of Qi was overjoyed and wanted to reward Yan Ying with lands, a larger residence, and fine fur robes. Yan Ying refused each one. Duke Jing also saw that Yan Ying's wife was old and plain, and he wanted to marry his own young beautiful daughter to Yan Ying. Yan Ying answered it with a serious face. When my wife was young, she entrusted her youth to me. Now she is old and plain. How could I bear to abandon her? Duke Jing sighed. If you do not betray your wife, how could you betray your state? From then on, he trusted Yan Ying even more. In the 12th year of King Jing of Zhou, King Ling of Zhu had already wiped out Chen and Kai, but it still was not enough for him. He forcibly moved 6 small states, Zhu, Hu, Shen, Dao, Fang, and Shen, to the Jing Mountains area. Ordinary people dragged their families along the roads, crying as they walked, cursing as they walked, with resentment rising straight into the sky. King Ling felt the world was almost in his hands. He drank and played on Zhanghua Terrace every day, and he even wanted to send envoys to the Zhou king to demand the 9 tripods, to keep them as Chu's sacred national treasure. Rai Ying Jingdan hurried to warn him. Qi and Jin are still strong, and Wu and Yu have not submitted. The Zhou court may fear you, but the other states do not truly accept you in their hearts. King Ling exploded at once. I almost forgot. Xiu followed me to fight Wu back then, and then turned around and leaned on Wu, refusing to help me. Fine. I will hit at Xiu first. Then I will hit Wu. Everything east of the Yangtze will belong to Chu, and half the realm will be settled. He left Wei Ba, Kai Wei, and Crown Prince Zhonglu to guard the capital. He marched east with great noise, camped at Zhoulai, ordered Sima Du with 300 chariots to besiege the capital of Su, and stayed at Qiangxi as the rear support. By the 15th year of King Jing of Zhou, heavy snow fell. The snow was 3 chi deep. King Ling wore a famous fur cloak from Qin, a fur cap, leopard skin boots, and carried a purple whip. He stepped out of his tent to look at the snow and said, "It is very cold." Zheng Dan seized the moment. Your Majesty wears heavy fur and leopard boots and still feels cold. How much worse is it for the soldiers, in thin clothes with bare ankles, standing in iron helmets and armor in wind and snow? Better to return to the capital, recall the army attacking Su, and strike again in spring. That way you gain both safety and victory. King Ling said, You speak well, but then he turned smug. Since I began using troops, when have I not won? Sima Du will report victory sooner or later. Jiang Dan grew more urgent. Su is not like Chen and Kai. Chen and Kai were near Chu and long depended on your protection. Su is 3,000 li to the northeast and relies on Wu for pride. If the army stays outside too long, freezing, hungry, and exhausted, and anything happens at home, once the soldiers lose heart, it becomes dangerous. King Ling laughed loudly. What am I afraid of? Chuan Fengshu guards Chen, Qiji guards Kai, Wu Ju and the crown prince guard the capital. That is like having 3 Chu states. Zheng Dan then struck him with an old lesson and recited a line from Qi Zhao. You drain the people's strength, yet you still only think of your own drunken fullness. He meant, do not squeeze the people dry while you feast and indulge. King Ling heard the sting, fell silent for a long time, and only said, Withdraw for now, I will think about it. But that night, scouts reported that Sima Du had won again and had Su's capital sealed in a tight siege. King Ling instantly changed his tune. Siyu can be destroyed. So he dragged it from winter into spring, hunting and entertaining himself every day, still forcing the people to build terraces and palaces, refusing to return to Ying. While King Ling was sunk in Qianxi, trouble exploded in Tai first. The son of Gui Sheng, the old Kai minister, was named Zhao Wu. He served at the side of Kai Gong Qiji, but he never stopped thinking about restoring Kai. He spoke with the steward Guang Kang. Guang Kang said harshly, The king of Chu is away on campaign. Inside is empty, outside is full of hatred. Heaven wants to destroy him. If we miss this chance, Kai will never rise again. Zhao Wu asked, What do we do? Guan Kang said King Ling gained the throne improperly. Xi Gan, Xi Shi, and Qiji were never truly convinced. They just lacked an opening. We will 复制 Qiji 做的 and summoned Zai Gan from Jing and Zai Xi from Jing, saying we will escort them back to Chu to punish a usurper. Once they arrive, we force Qiji to rise with us and take Ying directly. Zhao Wu did it. He lured Zai Gan and Zai Xi to the outskirts of Ka City and laid it out bluntly. Cai Gong did not give this order, but we can seize him and use him. The two princes were frightened at first. Zhao Wu broke down the logic piece by piece. Ying is empty. Cai Wei is willing to act as an inside agent. Dao Changuan is also close to Cai Gong. Chuan Fengshu in Chen may not be loyal to King Ling either. Once the troops of Kai and Chen move, Ying will be taken like reaching into a bag. Only then did Zhi Gan and Zhi Shi nod. They swore a blood oath to avenge their former ruler Jia Ao. On the oath document, they wrote Kai Gong first, which meant Qiji was tied to the plot with no way out. When they entered Kai City, Qiji was eating breakfast. The moment he saw the two princes, he tried to hide. Zhao Wu grabbed his sleeve. At this point, where can you go? Zhi Gan and Zhi Shi held Qiji and cried, "Lend us your troops to take revenge. When it is done, the throne will be yours." Yu Yiji panicked and could only say, "We should discuss it slowly." Zhao Wu gave him no air at all. He spread the message through the city at once. Cai Gong has summoned the two princes for a great enterprise. The oath is already sworn. The two princes will enter Chu first, Qiji shouted. "Do not frame me," Zhao Wu blocked him. The sacrificial pledge and the oath are buried outside the city. Who did not see it, you can deny it, but it will not help you. Move now, and you get wealth and rank. Then Zhao Wu stirred the street. The king of Chu destroyed all Kai without justice. Now Cai Gong has agreed to restore it. Will the people of Kai watch the ancestral temples vanish? The citizens immediately grabbed tools and crowded at Qiji's gate. Zhao Wu forced him again. The hearts of the people are united. If you do not lead, chaos will break out. Qiji was shoved onto a tiger's back and could only agree. Zhao Wu said he would go to persuade Chuan Fengshu in Chen. Qiji should join the two princes first, gather troops and people, and march. Guan Kang rushed toward Chen City and met a man of Chen, Shao Ni, on the road. Shao Ni said Chuan Fengshu was already dead, and Chen also wanted restoration. He would bring men to help. So the forces of Kai and Chen merged and rushed to Ying overnight. In Ying, Kai Wei first sent trusted men out of the city to surrender, and Dao Changuan went out to receive them. Ling Ying Weiba was about to set defenses, but the city gate was opened from inside by Kai Wei, and Kai troops poured in. The vanguard Si Wu Mo burst into the city shouting, "Kai Gong is at Qiangxi, attacking and killing the king of Chu. The great army has arrived." The people of the capital had long hated King Ling's cruelty, and no one resisted. Weiba tried to flee with Crown Prince Zhonglu, but the palace was already surrounded and could not be entered. He went home and killed himself. Qiji then entered the palace. Crown Prince Zhonglu and Prince Badi were both killed. Everyone pushed Zhi Gan to become king. Zhi Gan tried to refuse, but Qiji said that the order of age cannot be set aside. Zhi Gan then took the throne, made Zhi Shi Ling Ying, and made Qiji Zhi Mao. Zhou Wu privately urged Qiji to seize the throne himself, but Qiji said, "King Ling is still at Qiangxi. If I step over two elder brothers and take the throne, the world will condemn it." His words sounded humble, but he was waiting for King Ling to be truly finished and for the ground to be firmer. Then came the pursuit of King Ling. Zhao Wu offered the next step. Use the new king's name to break the outside army, then corner King Ling to death. Guan Kang ran to Qiangxi and spread the threat. Return first and you regain your lands. Return late and your nose is cut. Follow the old king and your 3 clans are wiped out. Offer him food or drink and you share the guilt. The outside troops heard it and fled in a rush. More than half scattered immediately. King Ling was still drinking in the pavilions of Qiangxi when Zhang Dan burst in. Ying has fallen. The 2 princes have raised a king. The crown prince has been killed. King Ling leaped from bed and wailed. Zhang Dan urged him to hurry back. King Ling instead asked one bleak question first. When people love their children, is it like me? Zhang Dan answered, even birds and beasts know how to love their young, let alone humans. King Ling sighed himself. I have killed too many other men's children. If they kill mine, what is strange about that? The new king's troops closed in. King Ling roared for battle, broke camp, and fled north along the Han River, still dreaming of retaking Ying. But soldiers ran off in clumps. Even when he killed men with his own hands, he could not stop it. By the time he reached Ziliang, he had only 100 men left, and then even those dispersed. He knew the game was over. He hung his robes and cap on a willow tree. Xiangdan urged him to go probe the people's hearts nearby, or flee to other lords and beg for troops. King Ling gave a bitter smile. Who would truly love me? Great fortune will not come again. If I go, it will only be humiliation. Zhengdan feared being dragged down and fled back to Ying with Yixiang. King Ling became completely alone. He wandered through marshes and ate nothing for 3 days. He met an old gate minor official from the past, Wang Renchou, and begged, "Save me. Give me 1 bowl of food and I can still live." Wang Renchou trembled and said the new king's ban was strict and no one dared feed him. King Ling rested his head on Wang Renchou's lap. When he fell asleep, Wang Renchou slipped a lump of earth under his head and ran. King Ling woke, touched the dirt, and had no strength even to cry. Zhang Shen had arrived, the son of Shen Ruoyu. He knelt and said, "My father's last words were that he received 2 acts of mercy from your majesty, twice spared from death. If your majesty meets disaster, I must follow you with my life. Please come to my home in Ji village to hide for now." He fed King Ling dry rations, helped him onto a cart, and took him back. The thatched hut had a low door. King Ling looked at it and felt even more wretched, crying without words. Shen Hai had his 2 daughters attend him, trying to ease his heart. But at the 5th watch, the 2 daughters opened the door and cried, "The king has hanged himself." Meanwhile, Qiji led Dou Chenggran, Xiao Wu, and Xiao Ni to search for King Ling at Qiangxi. On the road, they met Zhang Dan and Yi Shang, who said King Ling had gone alone to seek death, and they could not bear to watch. Qiuji took them along. They searched at Ziliang and found no one, only clothes and cap handed up by villagers. Xiao Wu grew anxious. King Ling is probably already dead in a ditch, but if Zigan sits long enough, he will buy people's hearts. We must move fast. He offered a poisonous trick. Send defeated troops to circle the city, shouting, "The king of Chu's great army is coming." Then let Dou Chenggran frighten Zigan and Zishi until they collapse by their own hands. Guan Kang led 100 men to circle the city, crying out, "Kai Gang was defeated and killed. The king of Chu's great army will arrive right after." The city believed it. Dou Chenggran then ran to Zigan. "The king of Chu will humiliate you the way he dealt with the marquis of Kai and Qingfeng. You must end it yourself." Zigan and Zishi clung together and sobbed. Zai Shi cut his own throat first, and Zaigan followed with suicide. Inside the palace, eunuchs and maids fell into chaos with bodies from suicides everywhere. Dou Chenggran cleared the way and welcomed Qiji into the city. Only then did the people understand the great army was a lie. Yuji took the throne, changed his name to Xiongju, and became kingpin of Chu. But rumors still spread in Ying at night that King Ling is not dead. To quiet the city, King Ping secretly ordered Guan Kang to find a corpse in the Han River area, dress it in King Ling's clothes and cap, and float it downstream. He announced, "King Ling's body has been recovered." Dou Chenggran handled the burial, and he granted the posthumous title King Ling, and only then did hearts settle. 3 years later, they found the true body and reburied it. Over in Susi, Madu had besieged the city for a long time without success. He feared King Ling would punish him, so he simply held a standoff and did not fight. When he heard King Ling had fallen, he lifted the siege and returned. On the way at Yuzhang, he was attacked by Prince Guang of Wu and lost all 300 chariots. Wu then rode the momentum and attacked Zhou Lai. King Ping turned to clean up the mess. He buried Zigan and Zishi, rewarded merit, and reused the descendants of men once wronged. He enfeoffed Wu Shi, the son of Wu Zhu, and others. Shao Wu, Shao Ni, and Kai Wei also received offices, but Shao Wu and Kai Wei refused to come and thank him. They spoke bluntly. "We raised troops to restore Kai. Now the throne is set, but Kai's ancestral temples are still cut off. We have no face to stand in court. If you want the people's hearts, you must reverse King Ling's policy of annexation and restore Chen and Kai. King Ping agreed on the spot. He found Gangsen Wu of Chen and Gangsen Luo of Kai, installed them as rulers, returned the state treasuries, and let the 6 move states return to their homelands. The people rejoiced as if dead trees had bloomed again, but new trouble was already showing its teeth. King Ping sank into pleasures and trusted the slick courtier Fai Wuyi. Fai Wuyi wanted to be the crown prince's tutor and followed King Ping day and night in amusement, and Crown Prince Jian loathed him. Du Chengzhuan, proud and overbearing because of his service, was slandered by Fei Wuyi and killed, and Yang Kuai took his place as Ling Ying. Crown Prince Jian defended Du Chengzhuan and from that day made Fei Wuyi his mortal enemy. At the same time, Jin was not calm either. Duke Zhou of Jin wanted to restore hegemon power and forced Qi to come to court. Duke Jing of Qi went in person. On the road, a giant turtle bit his horse, and the strongman Gu Yezi jumped into the water and killed the turtle, saving the horse and becoming famous. At the banquet in Jin, Duke Zhao proposed pitch-pot gambling for wine. Banker Chunte prays, "If you hit, you become the teacher of the lords." Duke Zhao hit on the first throw, and the ministers roared in applause. Duke Jing of Qi refused to yield. He also hit, and he even said, "If I hit, I am willing to alternate with you as the teacher of the lords." Jin's face changed on the spot. Sun Wu scolded him for reckless words, and Yan Ying answered even harder. Hegemony does not stay in one house. Only virtue can hold it. If Jin has virtue, who dares not submit? If Jin lacks virtue, then Wu and Chu will rise too, not only Qi. Duke Zhao of Jin boiled with anger, raised troops to intimidate, and summoned the lords to covenant at Pingqiu, with the Zhou minister Lu Xiangong supervising. The lords saw Jin's 4,000 chariots and all feared it. Jin forced the covenant. Duke Jing first refused, then bowed his head and swore in blood. At the meeting, Zhu and Zhu accused Lu. Duke Zhao even drove Du Zhao and Lu out of the assembly and seized Ji San Yiru. Later, someone advised Zhu and Wu that Lu was a great state, and if pushed too hard, it might flee to Qi or Qi, which would not help Jin. Jin then released the man. But the lords saw Jin's orders change from morning to evening and grew even less obedient. From then on, Jin could no longer hold a covenanting assembly in its grip. The snow at Tiangxi melted away. King Ling of Chu died in a thatched hut. The banners on Ying's walls changed hands. Qiuji sat as King Ping. Chen and Kai were restored, and the people cheered. Yet Fei Wuyi had already entered the palace circle, and Crown Prince Jian's hatred had already taken root. Outside, Wu watched like a tiger. Inside, powerful men began to move in the dark. So tell me, with King Ling dead and the capital peaceful again, is the chaos truly over? And this new throne of Chu, can it really sit steady? Next time, we keep going.
Sky in light, knew I healed the broken heart. Fuxi traced the world's design. Every age leaves stories bright. Yaya dynasty shaped bronze. Shang dynasty cast Qin dynasty forged the great walls, and dynasty opened Silk Road winds. 3 kingdoms dynasty turned war to tales. Qin dynasty led ink and mountains bloom. Sui dynasty carved the Grand Canal. Tang dynasty crowned the world with Song dynasty raise learning's flame.